Welcome to this slightly different episode of Serial. Serial is where I usually trace the seriality of my photographic life. So thought it's going to be really different this time. Welcome to this new episode. I'll show some photos also along the way as I digress. First, thank you for the messages asking about the new videos. Some were expected. I'm usually pretty regular. Every month you have the regular, usual Monday stuff. But I kind of felt submerged and needed to pause, refocus my work, maybe rethink the way I approach those presentations. They're only meant to be the surface of what I do. So let's already go to the first photos. Those are in North California, eastbound, basically far west country. And that was during a rodeo. A really nice, I felt like in a cocoon, a really nice moment. Very special because for the first time in my life, I lost my glasses and didn't have a replacement. So I'm nearsighted, so I couldn't see anything really. Everything was blurry, kind of an interesting metaphor for the moment. And the only way to really experience details was to take pictures and use the lens of my camera. Or the sensor, just here it's digital photos. So it was a weird moment to see only by small captures. And yeah, kind of felt a little bit blind, but in this very soft space, it was a really nice community. A feeling I was not really used to, so felt really happy and a different way of interacting than I'm used to, which was really thought-provoking experience. I kind of looked at those beliefs that are not mine, those other ways of practicing community, and yeah, here you have some pictures of this rodeo. So those sheep, the lights, the cows. It seems at first like a violent environment. There's some violence, of course, but it really felt more sweet than violent in general, and it was very entertaining. I really felt very welcome, and I have another understanding, I guess, of this culture and community, even so I had some experience in the past. But anyhow, even so those are digital pictures. At heart, I remain in love with the analog, with the physical reality of things and their energy, the artistic expression that's linked to it. That's my core process, my deepest attachment. Even so, well, here digital photo is kind of close, it's just practical, but I also had to confront the monster of artificial intelligence because it's here. I do understand its mechanics, and I feel we must face it. So for those who followed my videos, there's a lot of AI coming in, and that's for me to be able to see how it reacts, to maybe understand it better, to understand that monster. But it's a double-edged sword in my practice, that's for sure. Let's go back to some pictures. Here, that's two pictures taken flying back to Iceland from California. You have the Mont Rainier on the right, that's near Seattle. And I thought it was interesting also to have this view from above, and the clouds, the minerals, how this planet on which we live kind of peeks out. And at the same time, you have the moon on the picture on the left, on the top. Yeah, I thought those two pictures were kind of interesting. Me coming back to my usual world. And yeah, also here, I was talking about analog photos. It is my love, having those photons coming from objects and directly going through the minerality of the lens and physically react atomically with the film and generate a souvenir, a palpable souvenir. Those two photos here on the left, it's black and white film, and that's the Pacific Ocean. And on the right, that's the Bay Area, the bay, with this very specific vegetation and this kind of peace, but a very different feeling than the feeling before from the east side of California. Not the same kind of warmth. Maybe this is a world I know better. I feel maybe more comfortable, but maybe less comfortable also in. It's a weird ambivalence I have here. And yeah, going back to AI, monsters to me have to be faced, and to leap beyond them, you have maybe to ask yourself why it frightens you. It doesn't mean it's not seductive and it's not fun to play with, but yeah. And this process of trying to understand fed much of my creative energies these past years. And at the same time, it renewed my love for the non-digital, for film, but also for live performance. For those again who follow my work, I do a lot of stuff like music and also do some filming. But still, even so now I'm reconsidering the way I do those videos. I feel I must still tackle it directly. Let's go back to some analog photos here. 2 series of 4 photos. That's with a 3D camera. An old camera, film cameras, that has 4 lenses and takes 4 angles at once. Very similar angles. And again, here the photons directly go and chemically react with the film. I've tried a lot of films, so there's black and white colors, there's a lot, but I thought those 2 series were interesting because basically it's not the same photons, it's the same subject, but if you think of it, it's not the same physicality in each of those 4 frames on both sides. And it's kind of like having a multiverse with 4 versions of it. Very close, so not really different, but they are. It's not the same energies, weirdly. Either emitted or here probably reflected by the flowers or by those docks. Those photos are all in London. And I think it gives an idea of the way I see photographs, how I try to capture and transmit the feelings. I think there's many realities to one reality. And it's kind of quantic. You can't have both at once. You can't have the real reality and at the same time it's representation. And yeah, that goes back to also my work. My work is about the interface in general, for those who know more of the details of what I do. How things collide and react, how we understand one another, whether living or mineral. And again, this rethinking of those videos I'm doing and sharing, I think in that sense it is in the right moment that I reformat everything, because I can't avoid the political and philosophical aspect anymore. I've had that discussion online recently that all art is political, even if it's not about politics. My work is not about politics, but it's politically and philosophically asking what is going on, what is reality. And also I'm going back to why AI, also a lot of AI in my work, and I will continue doing it, and why I will definitely go in those 2 very polar opposites, analog, digital, concrete, and virtual. I can ask also myself, why do I mingle with things I dislike if I risk as being seen as tainted? That's a bigger question, because I think I do get backlash about going into AI, but I think I have to do it. So, and here going back to 2 pictures. On the left that's digital, on the right that's film. 2 pretty strong pictures for me. I don't really know where to put them in my work, but on the left that's a studio type photo. Those are a bouquet of flowers. It's got some significance to me. It's dried, but it's still there. It still is a representation of what it means, and it's got a strong. How do you relay that strong feeling? And that's how I tried to do it. It's flash photography also, but there's some manipulation also. I don't modify the pixels, but I modify the intensities, and and the way the shadows cast on the surface behind, this negative aspect, and the way those flowers are placed, and they're actually placed how they were originally, but I thought I could relay the poetry and the intensity of the sensation I have with it by doing it like this. And at the same time, on the right, that's a non-altered photo that's using Fuji Eterna 500T film. That's Californian northwest coast, south of San Francisco. And there was light leaks. It's the first pictures of the roll. And the light leaks here, there's no remjet layer in the back of the film. So you get those weird glows. And it's just the opening in the roll of film that happens to do that. So that's kind of a random happening. I've been working on those in other cases, but here it's really random. And this picture means the moment was an important moment for me. And I feel like it's kind of burned souvenirs. And I thought that randomness in life sometimes has a way of winking at you. And I really like that photo and what it means. But yeah, going back to my discussion, I create art to make people feel. So hopefully those pictures made you feel something. Good, sad, hopeful, alive, whatever. I try to make people connect with nature, with others, with the elements, to give them a glimpse of my own parallel reality and mythology. And so, yeah, going back to those presentations, those videos, I will change the format of those playlists. I will still do them in English and French because I don't believe such should be colonized by a single language. And I feel like English has a tendency to really impose in a very imperialistic way its ways of thinking, its mechanics. I will have to express things in the ways that fits the moment, but I will definitely continue using French too. Because even so, English breaks the boundaries and mixes cultures, like I'm speaking in English to relay what I'm saying to you. I think this really strong English colonization of our minds does affect our hearts too. And yeah, let's go back to some pictures. That's medium format. And that's near the place I live now in Iceland. That's a beach. And I was just looking, for those who followed my work, I like stones, I like minerals, I like weird things. Well, not that weird, but more rough and original looking elements. And here, either this Sloan stone in the beach or this other, I think it's concrete that's been eroded by the sea with some lava inside, looks like a skull to me. Or those very, very essential to me surfaces of stone. They're all at the same place in this west side of Reykjavik, on a beach, the same beach, early morning. But I feel the minerality is kind of very soft and very warm, even so it's very cold. So it's an interesting contrast that I try to show and represent through those pictures. And also the interface with the water, the sea, the way it sort of just goes around and harmoniously affects those minerals, either with this twirl we see on the left, or simply this water just sliding over the sand, the dark sand, volcanic sand of Iceland. And then, yeah, like here, you get back to life, the more traditional living organisms like grass, and where is the boundary? Maybe there's not so much of a boundary between those minerals and what we are as biological organisms. Anyhow, so yes, in the weeks ahead, I will return to making photography videos differently with variable geometries. Not sure about the rhythm until something makes really deeper sense. And yeah, I'll finish with one picture. That's the sea from that same beach. And yeah, the horizon's open. and let's see where it goes. So yeah, anyhow, if you have questions, suggestions, comments, as usual, just go for it. And yeah, catch you next time.